So today I will be continuing with my former class. In the last class I had left off on the basics of classification. I will go ahead with this, and exactly at the place where I sort of left the class, and then continue ahead. So with this I'll start presenting my screen. Okay, before I present my screen, let me take your attendance. So Abha, Al-Shifa, Antara, Aisha, Joyashree, Konika, Lee? Who is Lee?
স্যার আমি
তোমার নাম কি?
পর্ণালী সর্দার।
পর্ণালী, আচ্ছা পর্ণালী থেকে লি, আচ্ছা ওকে পর্ণালী, ওকে। দেন নিসাব, নীলাঞ্জনা, ওম প্রকাশ, পিঙ্কি।
ইয়েস স্যার। স্যার শালভি বর্মা।
Om Prakash is Shalvi, right? Okay, okay. Shruti's sister.
ইয়েস স্যার।
Okay, okay. Then Pinky, Poulomi, Pranab, Pritodip, Pritidhara, Shravonipal, Shreyas, Shruti, Shikta, Sneha, Sonali, Soumosundar Ghosh, Sumitra Gorai, Udita Pandey, and there is one Joyashree Maji joined. So people who are from program, they are Antara, Joyashree, here Shalvi, Pranab Datta, Sonali Yadav, and who else is from program? Anybody else?
Sir, me, Shruti.
Shruti, of course, yes.
Sonali
And
Sonali.
Sonali, I told Sonali. Okay, fine.
Sir, Abhishekta Mandal from program.
Ovishikta.
Yes, sir.
Ovishikta, okay, right. Acha, Ovishikta, it's separate. Fine.
Sir, Shravani Pal.
Shravani Pal is also from program.
Sir, me, Sumitra Garai from program.
Sumitra Gorai, okay, great. Because you are telling these things, this is all getting recorded, so when I do the attendance, it will be easier for me. Though I will take this attendance at the end of the class once more. Okay. And the rest.
Sir, Aditya Dhali.
Aditya Dhali to the honored there.
আমি পরে জয়েন হয়েছি।
হ্যাঁ, ওটা অনার্স তোমার দেখে নিয়েছি। ঠিক আছে, আপাতত মিউট হয়ে যাও। ওকে, গুড। সো আইল স্টার্ট মাই ক্লাস। I'll try to mix English and Bengali along with it. For those who are a bit weak in English, they must try to pick up English as fast as possible, and then it is very important to know, and then I will explain them a bit in Bengali. Those who don't know Bengali, then close your ears, listen to the English, and so let us start with today's class. The attendance is very poor, but anyway, let's start with the class. So I am presenting my screen, I am sharing my screen. So in the last class I had left off at the part known as cladogram. So what are cladograms? Cladograms are, somebody else has joined, let's put that person in. Rohit RK has joined. So Rohit is from honors. So cladograms are diagrams that show the evolutionary relationship among a group of organisms. So you can see this diagram. This diagram is nothing but a cladogram. It is showing the evolutionary relationship among an organism. How close one organism is to another in the evolutionary chain. Evolution is descent, inferred descent from beginning of the time to there is no beginning of time, we may say, but from beginning of life, then what came one after the other, 1 2 3 4, it came step by step, evolution took place. So to understand this, let us see, we have given a group of organisms, a set of organisms, some set of organisms. They are, you have been given the names of some organisms. One is shark, one is an amphibian. This is, you have given the name of a shark, a ray-finned fish, an amphibian or a frog, a primate, a rabbit, a crocodile, a bird. Say bird. So you have given these organisms together. Now they are telling you to construct an evolutionary tree through trial and error method. What you try to do is, through trial and error, what you do is you try to group them together. So first of all these organisms which you see together, they have all got a vertebra. They have all got a vertebra, and on that basis of vertebra, they are all vertebrates. Next you are coming whether they have a bony skeleton or not. Then you see, among all these group of organisms, only sharks have got a cartilaginous skeleton. Pooja Mondal admit, wants to enter. Arpon Odhikari. So you have bony skeleton. So only sharks have got a cartilaginous skeleton, but the rest, the ray-finned fish, the amphibians, primates, rodents and rabbits, crocodiles and birds and dinosaurs, they all have got bones, calcareous hard bones, bony skeletons. But what you have in sharks are cartilages, like your nose, this little thing, soft thing in your ears, these are cartilages. So the whole shark is made up of cartilaginous skeleton. They don't have a solid calcified skeleton like you have. But when you take a rohu fish or something, you see that they have got hard calcified skeleton in their body. Amphibians, primates, they all have. So immediately you can draw this as a separate line. This line becomes separate from the others. This is how the first step in how you differentiate or try to make a cladogram. Next you see the presence of 4 limbs. Those who have got 4 limbs, 2 hands, 2 legs or 4 legs, they are limbs. So for 4 limbs you have, fishes don't have 4 limbs, but the amphibians have got 4 limbs. Primates have got 4 limbs, rodents, rabbits have got, crocodiles have got, birds and dinosaurs have got. The 2 limbs of birds are its wings, and 2 are for its legs. So they have got 4 limbs. So immediately the ray-finned fish becomes a separate line. You draw this line separate and draw this line over here. Now next you consider another character, whether they have got an amniotic eggs. So amnion is a embryonic membrane which is present in special eggs, in eggs. So if you see, amphibians don't have amniotic eggs. They are not amniotes. They don't have this embryonic membrane in the egg. But who has got? The others. Primates have got an amniotic egg, rodents have, crocodiles have, dinosaurs and birds, they had amniotic eggs. So immediately you separate the primates, the amphibians away. Then you take another characteristic, hair over the body. Immediately you see only primates and rabbits have got hair in their bodies. So they are closer together. You bring them together and you separate them, and then another character you take, two post-orbital fenestrae. That is in your head temple where you put your gun point and shoot and then you die. That is that orbital fenestrae. And they have got two of them. So they have got two, and so crocodiles and dinosaurs, they are more close together. So evolutionarily you find that these two on the basis of characters, their characters, morphological characters, you put them together. You put these two are more similar, close to each other, but these two crocodiles and rodents, they are more differentiated from each other from this point. They are, but amphibians are even further away. It's from here they are differentiating. Bony fish even much more evolutionarily they are not related. They are much more poorer. The relationship is even much back. And shark even much work, presence of vertebrae, so it goes even back. So this is how you construct a cladogram. Now let us go to the next part. This I had explained in the last class, these part. So today we will go to taxonomic hierarchy. Let's first finish certain terms of a cladogram. So cladogram and cladistics. What are the cladistic analysis? Is also known as cladistics. It's the main approach of classification used in contemporary evolutionary biology. So what you study over here is how the evolutionary relationship represented in a diagram, evolutionary diagram. So the relationship can be monophyletic, polyphyletic or paraphyletic. Now for example, if you consider evolution, species A, it gave rise to species B. Species B gave rise to species C, species F, D, E, G, H, and A gave again rise to I, J, K. Now if you consider in this shaded area, this violet region, this shaded region, they are monophyletic because they all originate from the same phylum in this gray area. So C, F, D, E, G, H, they are all monophyletic because they all originated from B. So all you can say that D, G and in this area they are all monophyletic. Next, if you consider only E and G are polyphyletic because they are, G's origin is from F and C's origin is from E, so they are polyphyletic. Then you have paraphyletic. In this shaded area, even though this gives rise to other phylum, but J, K and all, they are all in the paraphylum. So more or less this part you are considering the region which is shaded. Because A can give rise to B. So if you say this region, this is paraphyletic to this. Because J and K, they have got a different origin. So what if all of a particular clade's members share a common ancestor, but not all taxa that share common ancestors are included in that group? Such a group is paraphyletic. So all that taxa, so these also have originated from here, from A, but they are not included in this group. So this is a paraphyletic group. This is a polyphyletic group. This all originates from B. So this is also a monophyletic group. But again, if you consider this part for example, this is also a paraphyletic group. This is the difference. Just remember these diagrams. So now we come to taxonomic hierarchy in biological classification. So how do you define hierarchy? What do you mean by hierarchy? Hierarchy means one person is on the bottom, on the top comes the next higher boss, on top of it the bigger boss, on top of the bigger boss then the biggest boss. This is a hierarchy. Below you have the workers, on top of the workers you have a worker supervisor, on top of the supervisors you have a manager, the factory manager, on top of the factory manager you have the city manager, then you have the district manager, regional manager, CEO, then you have the boss, big boss, director. So this is a hierarchy. So normally we follow a 7 kingdom hierarchy, but you can consider 2 more much later. That is, the hierarchy here is, on the bottom you have species, on top of species you have genus, because many species can be in a genus. For example, the fruit fly Drosophila. Drosophila is the genus, and species can be Melanogaster, species can be Ananassi, species can be Willistoni, species can be Simulans, species can be Pseudo-obscura. So there are many species are left, but they are all belong to the genus Drosophila. So you have on the bottom you have the species, on top of that you have the genus, on top of that you have the family, you have the order, you have the class, you have phylum. Then on phylum on the top you have kingdom, Animalia. A domain Eukaryota. Then you have life. Life is the biggest. So this type of an hierarchy is known as Linnean hierarchy. Basically they nowadays consider the 7 taxonomic hierarchy, that is kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus and species. So essentially you don't study this too much. You study the ones below. That's what you study, Linnean hierarchy. So it is defined as a sequence of categories in a decreasing or increasing order from kingdom to species, or from species to kingdom, vice versa. So what is species? Species is the lowest level of classification, and it shows the high level of similarities among the organisms. One species can be distinguished from the other closely related species based on distinct differences in morphology. So one more on the basic difference, a cat and a dog, on the basis of their morphology or how they look, they are different species. For example, look at Plasmodium vivax and Plasmodium falciparum. Both cause malaria, but they have a different effect on the patient. Plasmodium is the name of the genus and has a large number of species which show distinct morphological characteristics. So close maximum number of between in one species, all humans, they share the maximum character, but even between individuals they have got differences, but all humans, they look the same more or less. They have same features. I'm not talking about girls and boys, that's a different thing, that's a different issue. But among humans, they look same more or less. There are differences on the basis of sex, age. Old people look different, young people look different, babies look different, but basically there are similarities. But monkey and human, two humans, they resemble on the basis of their morphological characteristics much more than a monkey and a human. Their difference is different. But when you compare a difference between a rabbit, monkey and human, you see that a monkey and human, they resemble each other much more than with that of the rabbit. So you resemble a monkey much more than that of a rabbit. Unfortunately, we don't have any living Homo species alive apart from our Homo sapiens sapiens, but we had a species Homo sapiens Neanderthals, the Neanderthal man in the Neanderthal valley. Uh, Neanderthal valley, their fossils were. It was also assumed that both these species existed at a time together, but since Homo sapiens was the dominant species, they died. The Homo sapiens Neanderthals, they died. Still, you find a Neanderthal man, you find skeletons. You find, at a time, perhaps they even mated among themselves also. They were close. They were very closely related, but they were different species. Possibly there was no mating between them. We will come to this later. Then you have genus. Above the species, like Plasmodium is the genus, like I mentioned, example of Plasmodium. This taxonomic group comprises of multiple species which have similar characteristics. In Drosophila, you have Drosophila simulans, Melanogaster, Ananasi. All have got red eyes, they have got lots of similarities. But they have certain differences, therefore they are not the same species. Then above that comes the family. For example, all the cats, Panthera, and the Felis, the domestic cat. Panthera, the tiger, lion, leopard, Panthera leos, Panthera tigris, all these things, they are the big cats, and then the feline cats which you find, they are all known as feline cats. They are together put in the family Felidae. Because cats, lions, tigers, they more or less, they have got similarities, so they are put in the family Felidae. Then you have the order, which is even like order Carnivora. Even dogs, cats and all, they are in order Carnivora. Then you have the class, you have the phylum, you have kingdom. You have all these things. Like this you go, the hierarchy goes ahead. The next, this is the book Systema Naturae by Carlos Linnaeus. This book, always remember the reference, this is known as Linnean hierarchy. What I have explained right now, it is known as the hierarchy as given by Linnaeus. Next we come across is what the systematic process is. The systematic process consists of 5 interdependent but distinct steps. So what are the steps? First, the taxa to be classified are chosen. Then the characteristic to prove evidence for relationship are chosen. Next, the characteristics are analyzed to reconstruct the relationship among taxa, usually in the form of a tree. Then the tree is translated into a formal classification system so that it can be used to communicate it to other scientists. So first, what is a taxa? Taxa is maybe a phylum is a taxa, a subphylum is a taxa, order is a taxa, class is a taxa. These are taxa. Each step is a taxa. So first choose your taxa. Okay, I choose class. Then I choose the characteristics of that class. What are the characteristics to choose the? Okay, presence of canine teeth. So order is the taxa chosen. So presence of canine teeth and meat eating. Order carnivora. So all those who have got long canine teeth and they eat meat, they are put under the order carnivora. The next thing is you make a tree which is close. Lions and tigers are closer than cats. Cats have distance. So you construct a tree with all the members. You draw a tree like cladogram, like I explained before in this class. You do it, and then you put them under a formal system, class, order, subclass, order, blah 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 blah. You put them under a system of classification. The system of classification, you have a Linnaeus's you have Haeckel's classification, you have Shatton's classification, Copeland's classification, Whittaker's, Woos's classification, Cavalier-Smith's classification, and this tree is used to test various hypotheses. You say that okay, this is closer to this or not, you test using characteristics. For example, Linnaeus's classification is two kingdom. We classified them as Vegetabilia and Animalia. Haeckel has got it into the three kingdom: Protist, Plantae, Animalia. For all purposes, only remember these two. Woos divided it into three domains: bacteria, archaea, and eukarya, and Whittaker the five kingdom. Remember these two always. The next part which we come is the International Code of Zoological Nomenclature. So this is a very important topic which I would like to go ahead in the next class. But before this is I will talk in the next class. But today I will be talking about one more aspect, and that is what is the biological and evolutionary species concept. The biological species concept was given by Ernst Mayr. So how do you say that this is a this belongs to the same species? These individuals are belonging to the same species. We are looking at all the why do you say that you or me or all the people in this class, we all belong to the same species? We are all Homo sapiens and sapiens. How do you know that we are all the same species? Because all of us may not look the same. So we are in the same species because theoretically speaking, all the individuals can breed among themselves and have children. It doesn't mean that all males will breed and have children, but male and female, they can breed and have children. Therefore, they are in the same species. So if the individuals, they can mate among themselves and have children, then they belong to the same species. For example, you cannot mate with a monkey and have children, or you will never mate with a monkey first of all. That is, therefore the monkey is a different species. So distinction, but even interspecific matings take place. In the case of Drosophila, you have Drosophila melanogaster and simulans. They do mate with each other, but their offsprings are all sterile. They are not fertile offsprings. Even a donkey, Icus calibus and Icus icus, both of the these two species, zebra and a donkey and a horse can be mated, and you will have a mule, khachar. You will have a mule formed. The mule is sterile. A mule cannot mate among themselves. So even among two species, you can have a mating, but you will not have proper children. So this is biological species concept. Now the question is, we go about so this is perfect. The one of the best definitions of a we are of the same species because we can mate with each other, theoretically at least. We know theoretically if everything all our organs are working properly, and if the mating has taken place, there will be children, and everything is clear in this. There is no doubt we belong to the same species. This is absolutely clear. This is how the biological Mayr and Ashlock, or Mayr, they gave this particular idea that this is a biological species. Now let us go to our ancestors, say 500 years back, 1000 years back, 2000 years back, 3000 years back, 4000 years, during the time of Ramayana, Mahabharata and whatever. Or maybe you go to the time of Jesus or Muhammad or whatever. You go to that time. How do you know that during the time of the Mahabharata and Ramayana, Ram belonged to the same species as me? You cannot use the biological species concept here, because you don't have a time machine and you go back during that time and see if you can mate with individuals of that time and have children. Well, unfortunately this cannot be done. And it is known that evolution takes place. In 1910, Thomas Hunt Morgan. He's also a very important scientist in a geneticist, an important geneticist. The Thomas Hunt Morgan. He worked with Drosophila flies, and these flies, all these flies, he mated them and laid several principles of genetics and all. So all research on Drosophila which had taken place throughout the ages, they were all descendants of the flies which came from the flies crossed in Thomas Hunt Morgan's lab. So they are all descendants of Thomas Hunt Morgan's flies. So they are all the same lineage. But there are flies, when you keep a fruit, you will see this little Drosophila flies with two little red eyes, these flies which run over those fruits. Those are the Drosophila. If you see these flies, these are wild type. So he collected, a scientist did a mating, he took a wild type fly and mated with a lab fly. They found that already the offspring from one male wild type and a female lab fly, it was already sterile because there were certain evolutionary changes taking place. So evolution is working. So how do you know that Rama and you both are of the same species, or Krishna or you they are of the same species, or the people during Krishna's time they belong to the same species or not? You have no way to know, because the people, prehistoric bones and all these are there. How do you know that they belong to the same species or not? The biological species concept fails over here. So in this, there is the George Gaylord Simpson proposed the evolutionary species concept. So according to evolutionary species concept, so a species is a lineage. It is an ancestral descendant sequence of population. So population over there, if you see their bones, then the next generation if you see their bones, then the following generation if you see their bones, you will always find that this problem takes out all of them are then put into the same species. The best documented evidence of evolutionary species is in the evolution of horse. Right from Eohippus to current Icus, you have all bones and fossils. So according to the evolutionary species, the Icus, which was the prehistoric horse, that belongs to the same evolutionary species as that of the current horse. So according to this theory, that evolutionary, the whole line, they belong to one species. So this is the evolutionary species concept. With this, I am actually ending my sharing here. And do you people have got any questions? I'll be happy to answer them. If you have questions, please do unmute yourself and ask. Otherwise, I will again take attendance and finish my class over here. Abha, Abhishikta, Aditya, Alshifa, Antara, Orpon, Ayesha, Joyasri, Konika, Pornali, Nisab, Nilanjana Mondol, Shalvi Varma, Pinky Mondol, Poulomi Ghosh, Pranab Dotto, Prito Deep Dotto, Priti Dhara, Puja Mondol, Rohit Arke, Sanjana, Shravani Pal, Shreyas Bhattacharya, then Shruti Verma, Shikta Ghosh, Sneha Bhattacharya, Sonali Yadav, Shaumo Sundar Ghosh, Sumitra Gorai, Udita Pandey. So this is your attendance. Do you have any questions? Please do ask. Okay, then please join my class. I've given Google Classroom. Okay, please join the Google Classroom, because I will be uploading notes over there which you people will be requiring. I will not send it on WhatsApp. So please kindly install, if you have not, install it on your mobile, and then I've given the code. Give that code and join the class and access all the notes you want to. So Thank you everybody for attending my class. I'm ending my class over here. Thank you very much. Thank you,
Thank
thank you, thank
you,
you,
sir.
thank you.